I'm Bernice Abubeidu-Lansa. We are coming to you from digital address GA0992539. You may be watching us live on DSTV channel 421 or Go TV channel 144. Around the world, we are online via myjoyonline.com. Let's settle for the details. Now, businessman Alfred Woyome says government will be in breach of the Constitution if it does not adhere to the decision by the African Court on Human and People's Rights. Now, the regional court is expected to deliver its verdict in a case filed by Mr. Woyome alleging abuse of his rights in the 51 million Cedi judgment debt saga. Now, that ruling is expected today. Deputy Attorney General Godfred Yeboah-Dame, however, says government will not be bound by the court's decision because Ghana is yet to incorporate the charter setting up the court into its domestic laws. Mr. Woyome is also disputing a 20 million Cedi valuation of his property set for auction to defray the 51 million Cedi judgment that fraudulently paid him. The property, located at Trasacco Valley Estates in Accra New Town in the Greater Accra region, are set to be auctioned very soon. Now, speaking on JoyNews' current affairs show up front, Mr. Woyome said the property have been undervalued. Here is an excerpt of that interview with Raymond Akwa.
Because I'm law-abiding, I went ahead to pay portions of the amount.
Because it was a settlement agreement?
Yes, with the government.
But if you were right, why did you proceed with this?
Because by our constitution,
yes,
one cannot disobey the Supreme Court.
The directive has been given?
Yes. So I obeyed the Supreme Court. And to a point, what I had is what I gave out, and made an arrangement to continue paying.
Which you defaulted on the insistence.
Excuse me. The point is that if you, then I invoked Article 40 and went to the Arusha court. It means everything has to stop. And they, yes, and they issue a provisional measure. And since it's within the Constitution, I must respect it.
And you insist that the interest insisted that you couldn't have continued with the payments?
Yes, everything stopped until. The
a case before the Court of the Republic of Ghana could not proceed when the case was...
We are bound, yes, by it. That's the interim measure. It has ordered on the government of Ghana directly. And it is there, document. You journalists have to read. You read and educate the public.
Okay.
Now, for that reason, the payment was not stopped. The payment was paused.
Okay.
It's not stopped, but paused. So, in that direction, we are all waiting for but the government refused and started dawn raids in my houses and my own house with military men. Raids.
How many of those?
A lot of military men came to my house here. Joy FM, you covered it.
Yeah.
Yes, to say that they are coming to measure the dimensions of the house. They broke into Trasacco, did the same thing there. Another place. They went there and did all that they can do without a court order. That they were taking valuations. I can hear them talking about some values.
20 million is currently.
Which is, where did they get that figure from?
Of course, but if they are broken into your house to do valuations,
what valuation? They come and measure the land and everything. Valuation is different. There must be an independent valuer. You are the judgment creditor. Did the court appoint an independent valuer?
Did the court appoint one?
No. I don't know of one. I don't know of one. So if now they want to talk about a value, they must go back to the court.
Okay.
For the court to appoint an independent valuer, and we all will have to agree on the value before they start throwing out figures.
Is it that you are disputing the amount to be more
excuse me,
than the actual amount?
Because there could be corruption there.
I don't get you.
You don't get me. I'm disputing that amount because it is not true what they are stating.
Is it way higher or lower than the amount?
Far, far lower.
Far lower.
Look, 2 residential property. This very property here, and a quarry. $1 million is equal to about 5 million cedis.
Yeah.
The property they are talking about. Is it worth 1 million, 2 million, 3 million?
But you know it.
Exactly. So I'm not going to throw about figures. You understand me?
You can't dispute it if you know the actual figure.
Can you sit in your house for somebody to come and tell this house is worth, you are owing me, and I'm taking it, this is how much it's worth? I have explained to you that it is not done that way.
Okay.
The court must appoint, and the court must agree on figures of each one of the property you are talking about. Before you enter into another place that you are going to do, you must have also a court order to go there.
All of this is not happening?
Not happen.
You are not privy to any independent value?
It has never happened, and they have not entered the premises with any court orders.
I see.
Okay? That's one. I have been law-abiding and trying very much to respect the courts. So we've been attending the courts. Although every time, periodically, we give report to the African court as to what is happening here.
How do you feel about all of these incidents?
When you are fighting a rightful cause and you know your God is behind you, you do it. If nobody does it, everything that has been done now is a precedent in the Woyome case. And every Ghanaian can be used against the person. It is right that all Ghanaians understand these issues and make sure that we fight for justice.
There's a question, and if the court at the African end rules in your favor, what would it mean?
What would it mean?
The current case that has been ruled here.
Okay, may I also ask you, I will ask you a rhetorical question. You don't need to answer me. When the issue between Ghana and Ivory Coast happened on the oil turn, what did Ivory Coast do when Ghana won?
They actually came for us to negotiate the way forward.
Negotiate or relinquished?
Yes, actually they went back. They said...
And relinquished?
Yeah.
Obeying international law?
Yes, they did.
Since Ghana became independent, show me one occasion where we have disobeyed an international law. Should it be the Woyome case, which should be a precedent to make us a rogue country? A country you signed to treaty by Vienna, saying you sign a treaty and you are bound by it, and your constitution also directs that you are bound by it, and you say you will not do it, and you Ghanaians, you will sit down. It's an overthrow of the constitution. It is an overthrow of the constitution. If I win, and the Ghana government do that, then I can call it there is a coup d'etat of the constitution. That's what I'll call it. And I am boldly saying that. Because that is the fact of it. If you joke with it, every other person is joking with it, thinking that it is that this is how serious it is. The African court had reported Ghana in the AU. Ask them. They reported them. They reported them in the section in the AU.
Really? Now,
and they have not told you. So if you are dealing with this and a citizen of Ghana, see, the constitution is all about the Ghanaian, the right of the Ghanaian. That's all about the constitution. So if the fundamental rights are being trampled upon and the collective right of Ghana by obeying international law is going to be trampled upon, then let's see what it is. The issue here is that let's wait for the Arusha. If government win, I'm ready to sit with government and schedule this. This thing, I'm going to sell this, it's cost this, it's cost. I've never told the government Afro Woyome is not willing to pay.
Or cannot pay.
Or cannot pay. The issue is there. Or can Indiana?
Of course, there's always a settlement plan. That's
exactly. Exactly. Then life begins. Then I know that I believe that I am doing a right thing by defending the right of myself, the Constitution, and the Ghanaian. And if it ends somewhere, we've all learned lessons. It's legal lessons. You understand me? We will sit down. And then I will bring a payment plan. And look, I have never vied for any political position. Neither do I want any political position in this country. And therefore, for you, you see, I've been quiet when we're doing all this politics and everything like that. I don't know why it should be so.
Because they say you're an NDC financier, and NDC financier, of course, is purely political.
It's purely political.
Yes.
Okay, let me tell you. Let me explain to you. In the United States,
yes,
everybody contributes.
Their structures are different. I mean,
their structures are different.
Corporate contributions.
Excuse me. Our constitution is based on the United States and that of UK.
We run a hybrid system. Yes.
Yes. You understand me? So is it wrong? Can it be said that I don't have MPP friends who have benefited from me? Can it be said so? The contract that we are talking about, whose regime was that?
John Kufuor's regime.
So then, I was the Vice Honorary Consul of Austria to Ghana. We were fine. It is not political. I am a social democrat. Fine. It doesn't make the MPP man an enemy to me. What we are talking about is a fundamental of our law, what holds us together as a country. Look, who started these persecutions? NDC. Yeah. So then, if you are their financier and they are persecuting you, and you two are joining, why are people finding convenience in somebody who decides to respect the law and be quiet and be law-abiding and make him look so bad?
Now,
can I steal the government money? Can I steal it?
I don't know, frankly.
But you people call me a thief. You said I have stolen money. I have taken government money. How do I take it? Am I a signatory to any account if it's not by a court order?
Now,
a lot of your journalists too, I was paying your fees. Many of you come to my house here. When the time comes, you sit on this TV and you say certain things. This is life.
I'm exclusive to that particular list.
No. I'm not talking about. I said some of.
Okay. Yes, I wanted to be.
No. I mean, say some.
Really?
Some of them too. I was hearing about them. You see, you don't talk like that to the people of Ghana. It is not an entertainment base.
Persecution, not prosecution.
Persecution.
You believe it's persecution?
What was the outcome of the criminal case?
Oh, okay, they ruled in your favor. It was dismissed, actually.
Did it go to Court of Appeal?
Yes, it went to appeal, right?
And okay, good. What happened to, excuse me, what happened to the sole commissioner's report?
I don't know about what happened.
You don't know that?
Yes.
I didn't attend that commission. I was not present. I was the number one on his page.
Yes.
I was the number one. He found me guilty and everything. The Court of Appeal threw it away. I hope you understand me. Again, you people have been misreporting to the Ghanaian public that Auditor General found the payment illegal. No. Auditor General report. Go back and read it.
We can conclude on the basis. And my last question to you is what the Deputy AG said today. Says they are still considering criminal prosecutions against you. I don't know on what charge and the basis for this particular claim.
I don't know, but
when you hear things like that, what's your reaction?
I don't know. I don't know what crime I have caused. So maybe there's a crime in going to sue the government for what you legitimately think that they owe you, isn't it? Is that a crime?
I mean, that would not be criminal. That's actually civil.
So I don't know what he's talking about. So go and ask him.
Have they spoken to you about this?
I say, go and ask him. I don't know what you are talking about.
Are you willing to stand trial again?
Excuse me. I said, go and ask him what he means by that. That's all.
Thank you so much.
So you saw some excerpts of that interview my colleague Raymond Akwa had with businessman Alfred Woyome. Well, speaking earlier on Joy FM's Super Morning Show, Deputy Attorney General Godfred Yeboadame dismissed Mr. Woyome's claims that his property was not properly valued.
He's always been making these outrageous claims, and I wonder why he does so. He knew that it was court bailiffs who were the registrar of the Supreme Court in the exercise of his powers after there had been an attachment. There was filing of what we call a 5A. He filed a 5A indicating that his properties that were placed under attachment. And then the court appointed bailiffs and officers proceeded in the company of policemen and security officers. And that is what happens in every single case. We do not go into onto a person's property trying to value it without protection. Definitely, the beliefs and officers of the court that you have protection, and they have protection from police, and that is lawful. And after that, they were properly valued, and we're proceeding to the next step of applying for the properties to be sold pursuant to the termination of reserve price when these outrageous claims were made by UT Bank and all. So he made such contentions before the Supreme Court, and they were dismissed. So he has no case at all.
So how do you intend to recover the remaining sum?
Yes, so what we intend to do is what I intimated yesterday. Yes, the rules of court enjoin us to file or require application for the termination of reserve price. We're not going to circumvent any rule in all of this. We're going to ensure that we act in strict adherence to the rule of law. So we're going to apply for the termination of reserve price. That is the price at which the court will sanction the sale of the properties, and the price will be the full sale value. So indeed, he ought to know that it is not the market value that is used in these circumstances. The court will always determine the price based on the full sale value, because it is a full sale. It is not a sale that is voluntarily being made by a person. Like, for instance, if you have a property and want to sell, you're going to sell it in accordance with what you will consider to be the market value. Yes, it takes your time to do so. But in this case, then there's a price of time, there's a need for us to sell it quickly, and therefore we're going to apply the full sale value. And we'll do that.
Well, we're expecting the African Court on Human and People's Rights to have started sitting by now, but there's no indication that that is happening. But President of the African Regional Court wants Ghana and the businessman to obey its decision, which we should expect to be delivered today. Justice Sylvian Ore spoke to my colleague Joseph Akable in Ethiopia earlier this year.
Okay, I will respond to your question in a general way. Know about the case, because the case is it's pending before the court, so I cannot express myself on the case pending before the court. But generally, what I can say is that it's an international court, and that the states have ratified the protocol, so they are abide by the decision that this court render when it comes to cases before it. So we cannot oppose the national court or the decision of a national court, because the decision of the African court when it comes to decisions regarding human rights violations is decisions superior to all the decision made by the court, because we express on violation on human rights, not on other matters. So no, the decision of the court is a decision that the state should implement. That's it.
So that should be at the executive.
When the state, the party before the court is the state, not a national court, or perhaps it can involve, of course, national court or other institution, but the state that has been sanctioned or recognized as having violated human rights is the state. Yeah.
And you expect all the nations, and in this case Ghana included, cases to respect and abide by whatever decision that will come from the court once they've agreed themselves to ratify it and obey by it?
No, I expect all the countries, all the state parties, all the countries before the court to respect the decision of the court. So I'm not talking on a specific country. I'm speaking on a general way, as I said. Yeah. Generally speaking, what a court can expect is that its decision be implemented, being respected. So yeah.
Now, we were expecting the court to have started session between 7 and 8 a.m. today. With this particular case, they broadcast live on their website, but we haven't had any indication that the hearing of that case or the session to give verdict to this case has started. We are keeping our eyes on that site, and we'll let you know whatever the verdict is.